Hello, today we're going to be doing a tool review video about this guy, the Cosmo 50. It is a laser tape measure sent to us by ADA Instruments. And if you stick around to the end of this video, you'll see how you can enter for a chance to win this guy right here. We're going to give it away, even though I've really enjoyed having it and been kind of spoiled by it a little bit. We're going to pass it on to someone else to also enjoy and get spoiled by it. But first, let's talk about it a little bit. So this is the Cosmo 50. Which means it's able to measure up to 50 meters, which for all of us here in the States is 165 feet, which is super handy because this guy was what we used before. This was our 165 foot long fiberglass tape measurer. It's accurate-ish, depending on if you have two people and enough time to pull it taut and keep it straight. This guy can measure within a 1/16 of an inch and is one person. It can do a lot more than this measure a straight line. It can do things like measure the square footage of someplace, or the cubic volume of an area, or do something called the Pythagorean theorem, which I'm guessing someone much smarter than me will probably use a lot more often than me. But first, let's talk about how we're going to use this little guy right here on our next project, which is where we're standing. This is a really big home gym, or a small normal gym, however you want to look at it. And what we're going to be doing is turning this into a guest house. Behind me in this area, we're going to have a nice little full bath put in. Behind that will be a little closet area. We're going to finish the ceiling off and then add a bedroom there behind us too. So we have a bedroom, a full bath, a nice closet for storage, a loft storage added above that, and still going to have a sweet gym on this side of it. So stay tuned to see how that project goes, but let's see how this guy can help us figure out how many square feet of drywall we need for the ceiling, and then how big of a hoist we're going to need to get up there, because there's no way I'm going to get on a ladder and try to hold sheetrock up there. To figure out how many square feet of drywall we will need for this project, we will hit the red button to turn it on, then the little cube button, which will switch it to square feet. You can see a little square shows up, and the number 2 appears over the foot symbol to show we're measuring square feet. And our red laser kicks on, which helps us figure out where we're measuring to on that far wall. So let's butt this up against this nearest wall, put the red laser on the far wall, and hit our red button again. And it'll take that first measurement, which for us is 28.72 feet. And as soon as you do that, the next side of the square starts blinking to give you a reminder to go measure the other side. Now we're going to repeat the same process again, taking that red dot, and we're going to put it on the far wall, butting the back of it up against the nearest wall, hitting the button, and we can see it's calculated our square feet. So we got 645-ish square feet of drywall we're going to need for the ceiling. And also a handy trick that I like about this is if you're like me, you screw up measurements pretty often, you can hit the clear button and it erases just that previous measurement you did. So you can redo it again. So put it against the wall, point it at the far wall, hit the measurement, and boom, it remeasured it again for us. So now we know how many square feet we need for this project. Now let's figure out how tall of a drywall lift we're going to need to get this all the way to the ceiling. So for that, we're just going to set our laser measure on the ground and point the lasers coming out the end of it to one of our roof joists and hit that big red button again. And there we go, 12.02 feet, which if you hit the unit button, you actually can convert that to different forms of measurement. So it also is 12 feet and 5/16. Or if you want to see it that way, or if you want to see it all in inches, we have 144.3 inches. Inches and fractions. Or you can switch over to meters. That is pretty handy. As you can see, it's a pretty easy tool to use. And it's pretty powerful with the abilities it has built into it with the square feet, the cubic feet, the Pythagorean theorem. If you're that smart and able to use that in your daily life, good on you. There's also one feature that is really cool that I haven't got to show yet, and that's the min-max feature. So for me, I've always been hesitant to use these because I worry that I'm not shooting that laser a straight line, and I might be shooting it off at an angle a little bit and getting a longer distance than it actually is. But with this feature, it's called a min-max. It takes care of that for you. So let's see how that works. To use a min-max, all you have to do is put up against the wall and then do a long press on that red button. And it'll turn it on to min-max. The top number being the maximum distance and the middle one there being the minimum distance that's being measured. So just take your red laser and make an X with it on the wall. So move it up a little bit and move it down. And as you do it, you can see your bottom number changing as it's measuring a different distance as that laser moves along the wall. And what we're wanting to do is figure out the minimum distance between these 2 points, which is going to be your actual distance. So now we got locked in. You can see that the minimum distance is 22 feet 5 inches. And the maximum we measure is 22 8 inches. So it shows you, if you weren't holding the laser perfectly straight, you could end up with a wrong measurement. But with this method here, you can always get the true measurement between these 2 walls. Now this tool is a really nice tool to have. It's great when you're measuring for flooring, like sheetrock like we just did here, or any long distance that you really can't do that well by yourself or with a normal tape measure. Like in a crawl space, if you want to figure out the total distance from one side to the other, this is the way to go and not try to drag around a long tape measure in a crawl space with you. However, it does have its drawbacks. There's a few things about it I don't really like. One of them being, it's a piece of technology, which means it can fail and it needs batteries. So you gotta make sure you always have batteries on you. If not, it goes dead. And when it's dead, it's not anything. You can't measure anything with it. Unlike this guy, no batteries. It's always gonna measure no matter what. But if you keep a spare battery set on you, you're gonna be set, and that's not really a big issue. The second one is you can't be rough with it. You gotta be gentle. You can't throw it downstairs. You can't leave it in the bottom of your toolbox. And you for sure can't just leave it in a big puddle of mud or puddle of water and think it's gonna be fine afterwards. It has lasers. It's a really high caliber measuring device, so it should probably treat it like it. And lastly, since it has a screen, it has a chance of getting scratched up. And when screens get scratched up, they're really hard to see in the sun. So I did find a way around that. Recently, a company called the Smartphone Doctor here in Republic, Missouri, told me about a custom screen cutting method so they can make screen protectors for any size devices. They're usually doing smartphones and smartwatches and things like that, but I asked them if they could do tool screens, and they said sure they could. So on this device right here, they hooked this up with a custom cut screen protector. So what that's gonna do is protect this screen when it is in my tool bag or in my glove box. It's not gonna get scratched up. And if it does, I can pull that screen protector off and then just get them to cut a new one and put a new one on there. That is awesome. And that is something that I'm actually gonna get done to all of my tools that have screens on them now, instead of having to be really gentle with them or get them all scratched up and then have to get new tools. So overall, would I recommend this tool? Yes, this is a great measuring device. This is something that everyone should have. And now that you got to the end of this video, one of you is actually gonna have this one right here. So if you want to be entered in a chance to win this, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below. Your comment could be like, hey, that's a cool tool, or like, nice hair, or wow, you talk way too fast and way too long. Just get to the point. Whatever it is, the comment's not important as long as you put one on there. And what we'll do is do a drawing, let's say Thanksgiving of this year. We will do a drawing and give this away and mail it to you so you can also enjoy it, because we have been blessed by getting this free tool and the opportunity to play with it for a while, so we're gonna pass that blessing on to someone else out there. Well, I guess that covers everything. If you want to know more about this tool, look in the description. There'll be more things down there, some links to the Smartphone Doctor here in Republic that hooked us up with a good screen protector. That's the word I'm looking for. And also more about ADA instruments and the Cosmo 50 and more features they can do that I could even cover in this video. So with that, that is a wrap.